Hey you guys, today we are making a So Ruby Christmas quilt. This quilt was originally made in the So Ruby Christmas quilt along on Instagram, but I've combined them all into a single video for you here on YouTube so that if you want to make an awesome Christmas quilt, you can. So here's what you need to do to get started. These are the materials you need, and the cutting instructions will come with each block. Welcome to the So Ruby Christmas quilt along. We are going to make the Christmas tree quilt today, and these are the pieces that you need. Our first step is to move these pieces aside. You're going to layer your white and your red fabric just like this. We're just going to angle our ruler and make a cut. So it's going to be a bit of a wonky, it's not exact tree. I'm cutting through both of those pieces. So if I pull this to the side, I'm going to then turn this and I'm going to cut a tree part. Now don't start up at the top, leave yourself some room right here, maybe even quite a bit. And we're going to cut just like that. So you should have these three pieces. So the first pieces that you are going to sew is the white with the red, just like this, and you're going to sew along this line, and then you're going to do that the same right here. Okay, so before I show you that, the next thing you do is take your two long strips and just cut them in half. There's going to be lots of extra here, so you just need to cut them in half, which should be just 5. Don't worry about being precise on this. Okay, so these are cut in half. You're going to take your tree trunk pieces, and your white is going to go with your red, and you're just going to sew it along this edge, flip it out, and then sew this side to it. And then same with right here with the red and white. So we're back to our tree pieces, and I just want to show you. So what I've done is I've sewed along this edge and folded it back and pressed it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your other side just like this, and you're going to sew it along that edge. Once you're done with that, it will look like this. And you should have also sewn pieces like this. You're going to have to trim down the bottom just to get a clean edge on it. Just like that. And then you are going to take this piece and you're just going to try to center it like that. And then you're going to sew along this edge, and you can see you have lots of extra here. Because once you've sewed that on, you're basically trimming it down. So you can see this is 11, so I need to get rid of half an inch. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to straighten out the bottom. And I'm doing that kind of by looking at this line right here. And then I am going to go ahead and do the top. So I'm going to use the mat for this because I need 10.5 inches. I'm going to just use that mat line for myself. Okay, you're going to do all 12 blocks this way so that you have 12 Christmas trees. I'm going to show you how to put together the candy cane stripe today. So you're going to need 2 full strips for this quilt, and once you cut all of that out, we need to cut these pieces and have a 30-degree angle. So I like to use my mat for this. You can also use your ruler. On my mat there's like a piece that goes like this that's rounded, and you can see the 30 dotted line. So technically I could start it anywhere on this dotted line as long as I am using the corner to lay it out, and then I use this 90-degree angle to help me square it off. And then I'm going to use that dotted line just to cut that 30-degree angle. Now to sew them together, so we want pieces that look like this. When you sew them together, you're gonna flip this on end like this, and you're going to sew, of course, a 1/4 seam allowance here with a quilting foot, and you're gonna leave a little bit out. You can even push this up a little bit of that corner. So it looks like this when you're done. Okay, you can see that line, but you can see there's like this piece hanging out. You don't have to trim it down or anything. So your long edge will look something like this. It's just where all of these seams meet right here. So I'm only gonna cut that off right there. Look how beautiful that strip is. And then you're going to take your 1.5 inch piece of white fabric, and you're just gonna sew it on either side of this candy cane strip. But that's all you need to do for today's block. Today we're gonna put together the Peppermint quilt block. Wow, try saying that 5 times fast. The first thing I'm going to show you is that you do need a piece of interfacing. I'm using the light, and I have a template on my blog that you can download, but any 3 inches should work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it on here, and then I use a pencil and create my template. What you're going to do is you're going to do a diagonal line, and I just take my ruler and I lay it across like this and create a pencil line. And you can see you're going to do it with 2 sets of your color 1 and color 2, or color 1 and color 2, I guess. And you can see I've just sewn on either side of that line. Once you cut them apart like this, you're just going to open them up and iron them flat. You'll have 4 of these pieces. And then with your other one, you are going to, once again, you're going to do 2. You're going to do white with color 1, whatever your color 1 is. So on either side of a diagonal line, and you're going to have 4 pieces when you're done. This one, though, you're going to want to trim down to a 2-inch block. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I like to use my ruler for that. See, I have diagonals on my ruler. I just use that diagonal and hit that 2-inch mark and trim it like that. And that way I have a perfect 2-inch square, and then trim off that edge. So you're going to trim all of your white plus color 1s down into this so that you have 4 of them. I'm going to show you how to put this together. We're going to just cut this one in half and open them up. You don't have to trim these down. You're just going to lay them out into a pinwheel. Okay, so then you're going to sew these together, these 2 together, and then fold this over and sew all of that together. So once you've made your pinwheel, you are going to, as you can see, I've got it here and it was in a pinwheel. I'm just going to take my template, lay it right on top, and then you're going to sew along that circle edge. That's all I've done here. And then you're going to just make a little cut in this and then flip it inside out. So you're just doing this to your pinwheel. And then I use my finger. You could use a pencil or a pin. Look at that. Isn't that so cute? Okay, so in the meantime, let me just show you these 2 pieces. So what I've done is, remember we had those white and red pieces that we trimmed down to 2-inch by 2-inch squares. I've just laid them out so that you put 2 of these together like this, and then you should have 2 white blocks like this and this, and you're just going to sew them together, okay? And then iron them flat. So then you have this piece right here, and you are just going to sew this piece to this piece, and you're just going to try to center it the best you can. And then you're going to take this piece, and you can do a beautiful stitch. You can hand stitch it, and you can just lay it in the center, or you could just stitch it around the edge, which is what I did. So this was my final peppermint piece, and you're going to need 4 of these blocks for your corners. Today we're putting together our border. What you're going to do is simply patchwork together these rectangles and sew them just like this and then press out. So you're gonna get some long pieces. So this is a short end piece, and you can see how beautiful that has turned out. So what you're gonna do is you have several width of fabric white stripes that you're gonna put on either side. So you're just going to sew one on this side, and you're gonna sew one on this side. Make sure and tag me with hashtag Carina Quilt Along so I can see what you're up to. And we are going to put this quilt together now. Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you how to put this thing together quickly. So you're going to put together 4 trees, sew them together into a line. You're going to have 3 sets of those, and I like doing every other, but you can do whatever you want. And then you're going to sandwich your candy cane stripe between each of these trees. Square that thing up. That's the center. And then what I want you to do is put your long border on the side, long border on this other side, and once you're done with that, make sure it's all squared up. Then I want you to sew one of these on the end of one of these, and one of these on the opposite end, so that you can have these corners with these peppermints on them, and you'll have your short borders. Make sure and tag hashtag Carina Quilt Along so I can see what you're up to, and I'm excited to see how your quilts turned out.